connects to, where does it connect? I know it's across the street. Where does it end up? Which building does it end up in over across the street, you know?
No, it was coming this direction over here to the office building.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It's 8:30. I call this meeting of the Raleigh County Commission to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Well, hopefully everybody survived last night's early morning storm so far. Guess we'll get to see what seems like there's a lot of tree branches and stuff down, so we'll get to see what the damage is. But fortunately, we missed out on the softball-sized hail, thankfully. So yeah, I'm certainly happy about that. So with that, we'll start off this morning with some public comments. I see Russell up there. I didn't know if you had any updates on anything this morning or not. Or is he just hanging out?
No, just
okay.
Just listening in. Just had minor tree damage. No reports of flooding or anything.
Okay, well, that's good to know too. Okay, thank you. Do we have any other? I don't see anybody else there up on Zoom. So, do we have any other comments down here, Gary?
Well, good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Gary Rashavitz, Assistant Public Works Director. I wanted to inform you and the public that on June 5th, that's Saturday, the transfer station will be closed. We've got some major repairs to make down there, and we just are not going to be able to do business during that time. So we've got public notices out. We're going to have a couple ads in the newspaper. We also have a message board set up down there at the transfer station to inform the public. So,
and that's going to be for the weekend all the way through Monday, correct?
we will reopen Monday at 7 o'clock.
Okay. Okay. Good to know. Thank you for the update.
John might be beneficial if either John or Gary announced it. Well, we won't have another option.
That's why I brought it up.
Thursday? Well, could Thursday, we probably have to say something Thursday again.
We can do that.
Oh, that'd be right before. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm already trying. I'm still in May.
Since
So
we're not gonna have a press conference.
I know it's the last meeting in May, but June seems like a long ways away.
It's not a long way away.
No, it is. It is not. It is Tuesday away.
So I have John Elderman, Public Works Director. We were talking about the courthouse and the cleaning repairs going on to it. They're moving along, trying to figure out a way to get the lift up to get to the tower to finish up on that. But we have they brought our attention some issues that we want to get the commission on stone replacement and repairs and some caulking around the windows before they really paint them. So we'll be coming to you when we find a little bit more information on numbers and maybe take you out there 20, 30 minutes to go look and see what we're talking about.
Okay. Pick a day where it doesn't rain, please.
Good luck with that.
It's shorter.
Okay, fair enough.
That might be in July.
It might be.
Well, then you can actually see where the gutters are leaking.
Yeah.
It only leaks when it rains.
Potato, tomato, tomato. Okay. Okay. Do we have any other public comments this morning? Okay. Well, seeing none, I'll go ahead and close off the public comments section, and we'll move on to commission comments, and we'll start off with Commissioner McKinley.
Yes. Wednesday evening, I attended the K-State Extension wheat plot tour that Regnal Tour come in and talked about the other day. And this was at Wordy Farm, which is far north county, only a mile from Washington County. And they added about 20 different varieties of planting width strips through this field. And there was an agronomist there who went through explaining which varieties do which, the strength and weaknesses of each variety, which ones, if you're drier land or wet land, and put resistant to which diseases and everything. It was an interesting tour. And then I had a couple communications with some residents over a couple of concerns they had. And the rest of the week was spent getting ready for a house full family that's coming this Saturday. Kids, grandkids, and a few others.
Oh, boy. Sleeping in a little bit, trying to rest stuff for that?
Yeah. No, doing it Saturday, so I've got Sunday and Monday to
Gotcha.
recover.
Okay. Gotcha. Good deal. Okay. Is that all you have?
That's it.
Okay. Commissioner Foki.
Okay. Well, this week hasn't been as busy as last week, so I'm taking some time to catch up on projects and people. I did meet with Amanda to discuss the Keats Community Meeting on the sewer district, which is being held this evening. I plan to attend that, and that's at 7:00. I did make some schedule changes to accommodate the KAC conference in June.
Good.
So I should be able to attend that one. I am planning to be gone, I want to let you know this, from July 13th through the 20th. So I'll make arrangements to call into the meetings and other board meetings that I'll be having at that time, so.
So you will be attending
Yeah, as,
via Zoom?
yeah.
It's like on here, that's just 2 meetings, so.
Yeah, I was hoping just to be one, but flight that I was looking at to come in on Sunday, I wouldn't have gotten home to midnight. I thought, well, I've been wasted, worthless anyway, so I just want to come the next day. So yeah. So other than that, I've been talking to a lot of people that have been talking to me about the church building demolition. A lot of interest and concern about it. Wanted us to do further study. And just for you to know, I've had about 2,100 people that read my Facebook page about the issue. So there's a lot of interest out there on it. So just wanted to report that. So that's all I have.
Okay. Well, as for me, it does seem like it's slowed down quite considerably too, which getting in the middle part of the year, I think is a good thing, all things considered. But Tuesday, I did listen in on NACO's national membership call with the United States Department of Treasury and having some further discussions and dialogue on the American Rescue Plan and specifically state and local fiscal recovery funds. Jacob Line, I don't know if I'm going to get this name right, but Lineben, what's that B in there that's getting me off left? He's counselor to the secretary at the Department of Treasury, and Lucas McGowan, who's a senior advisor at the White House. Most of this dialogue, once again, I don't know if Tammy or somebody else was on that particular call or not either, but most of it just kind of centered around the guidance that's in place and just trying to work through those protocols and on how to receive those funds. And that's something we've already obviously done and worked through. So it wasn't anything new for me at that particular point in time. One of the things they did talk about too was the different aspects of the federal Cdbg funding formulas associated with this particular plan. I know those formulas somehow on the metropolitan side of it changed, and that's why the city of Manhattan and several other cities within that scope got a little bit less, because they, I guess in that process, realized there was 53 or 57 other communities or something that had to be looped into that, and it changed the formula and dropped it for everybody. So that was interesting to listen to. So those calls are about a half an hour. So, I mean, it's kind of quick information, boom, 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 done. Kind of like it that way rather than going through an hour and a half. But you get the pertinent information. That's the important part. Also Tuesday, after a few technical issues, I was able to zoom in on the monthly board directors meeting with Pawnee Mental Health. I did miss a large part of the finance committee report due to those technical issues. I'm not for sure exactly what happened there, but anyway, that was mostly part of their 2022 draft budget. The regular meeting included a very comprehensive report from Shelley Schottler, Pawnee's Community Services Program, an executive director's report from Robin Cole, and then a finance oversight committee report, and an in-depth review of their draft budget they've put together for fiscal year 2022, and update on the Driving the Dream program, and lastly, a discussion on what an in-person / hybrid meeting scenario is going to look like in August. They're going to try to move those back in person, but maybe leave a hybrid option or something in there too to try to keep attendance They have it in Clay Center and other places. It's hard for people to travel in the middle of the afternoon. So they're seeing that since they moved to a virtual model, they're getting better attendance. So they're trying to figure out a way to maybe make both of those work for all of us. Later Tuesday evening, I did watch online the Manhattan City Commission meeting. Was curious to see start their discussions for their 2022 budget, the direction they'd like to go. I was also curious to hear about their discussions and dialogue on the new SB 13 and the, I guess the revenue neutral tax rate is what it's being called, how that's going to be contained within their budget. And of course, since this is all new to everybody and local taxing units and maybe some that aren't local taxing units, it was important to kind of see what the discussion was and just kind of take all that in and see how that's kind of work itself into the equation since it kind of got dumped on us here start for this year. So, and apparently I slept through last night in this morning's storm. I knew it had rained. I heard some rumbles of thunder, but didn't get the full extent. So I stepped outside and saw tree branches and stuff all over the place. I was like, whoa. Hopefully everybody got through it with only minor or minimal damage from what I could see. And lastly, it looks like K-State baseball came to an official end yesterday.
No.
That was a
They're
double
playing at
elimination.
9.
They're playing at 9:30 this morning.
Okay. I was curious about that. I guess the other playing game, the 8-9 game, was a playing game.
Yeah, they all
Okay. Okay.
Then the other-
They changed it from prior years, so I'm still trying to figure that out. So maybe we still have a slim chance at this one time.
Against Baylor.
Okay, yeah. We were up pretty good early and looked like we just ran out of steam, so maybe there would be something to look forward to over the Memorial Day weekend. So with that, that's all I've got. So we can go ahead and move on to some business, Rich.
First time I have is Fairmount Heights Sewer Collection System Improvements.
Any questions, thoughts on that?
Go ahead and move to approve this, approve and sign the Fairmont Heights Sewer Collection System Improvements Completion of Work Certificate.
Yeah, I would second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded on the completion of the Fairmount Heights Sewer Collection System. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Where am I signing it? Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Next, South Otter Creek Road Bridge Replacement Project Easement Agreements.
Any questions, thoughts on that?
I move to approve the easement agreements and authorize the chairman to sign.
I would second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded on South Aller Bridge Replacement Project easements. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have the Weeders Road Stream Bank Rehabilitation Project, permanent easement.
I move to approve the easement agreements and authorize the chairman to sign.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded on completion of the Weeders Road Stream Bank. That is a tough word. Rehabilitation project.
Over that.
Yeah. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. A little bit of a tongue twister.
There, twisted on that.
Mm. Yeah, for there.
Next, I need action on portable communication device allowance form.
That does require a motion too.
What is,
What this is certain positions in the county, and you see the $25, $40, and $65 rate. This is for Derek, the young man that transferred from the treasurer's office to IT. So of course, when he's with IT, he needs to be able to get onto the system via his phone. So that's why he's getting the higher rate. There's only certain positions in departments that get this.
are they just new people in these positions? Is it new phones? I mean,
It's not county
new
phones.
positions, I mean, new position, or just people filling positions that didn't have a phone and now they have a position.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or any new hire that's position
New.
requires them to use their phone for work, and it's their personal phone. We don't issue
Right.
county phones, it's their personal phone, so they get an allowance.
Okay.
You'll see these from time to time. This is the first one this year.
I move to approve the portable communication device allowance forms.
I would second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded on action on the portable communication device allowance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You.
Next, Riley County Personnel Actions forms for Ruth Ott, status change, part-time medical clerk in the health department. And then Hannah Weber, COVID-19 contract tracer, separation of service.
Had to make you work for that one, sorry.
That's okay. Ready to review the minutes of the board is?
Yeah, it's up and ready to go. Okay. And then let's start off with page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. And lastly, page 5. Very short this time. Mhm.
I would make a motion to approve the minutes dated May 24th, 2021 as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded on approval of the minutes from the May 24, 2021 meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Tentative agendas, what commissioners?
Good.
Any items for, there is none, but 2 weeks press conference.
Nothing at this time.
Okay, next commissioners, we have Amanda Smeller at 9 o'clock.
Why is there such a difference on the online agenda and the paper agenda today?
Really? I hadn't noticed that.
You went into a different section, evidently. Yeah, because I go through online here. That's what this is here. This is online right here. That's what I go through. Go through Chrome to get to this.
Well, that's the same as the paper one.
Different.
Right.
Okay. I'll go with the one online.
Huh? On the great meeting coming up.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna talk to you. When you're done, too. So,
Morning. Yeah, okay. You can start with him since he's first in the alphabet. Not by much, though. Not by much. Sounds like for KCCA, the hotel where it's at is booked. I got the last room. So
That's the one in Kansas City.
liberal.
Liberal.
Yeah.
The KCA one is one that says it's for.
I don't know if they booked one for me or not.
I think she's gonna have to a Hampton Inn. I'm assuming that's across the street or something. So
Drive is what I'm not.
yeah, I'm not really looking forward to that either.
Judy's I've got to go to Kearney the end of the month, so
Is
that's
that
like,
Nebraska?
yeah.
That's a long drive.
Yeah, both of them are really long. I don't know.
Well, I'm pretty sure Liberal's further than Kearney, but
Probably is.
Liberal's probably about 5 hours.
Yeah.
Kearney's one.
City's 4, so it's. an hour
Kearney's
and
4.
45 minutes.
Kearney's, yeah, Kearney's.
Oh, that's a joy. Well,
I
Kearney.
imagine driving from Kansas City or someplace up in northeast Kansas. It's like
Oh, yeah.
it's like an 8-hour trip.
Atchison and Leavenworth.
Right. Brown County.
And 83 is not the best highway from Garden City South.
Oh.
It's conditions good, but it's traffic and trucks are,
Hard to get around.
you can't pass.
So is there a better way?
Not really.
Somebody said you could drop down 35 and head over to Pratt
If
and
you kind of get to Larned, I think you drop down through Dodge and hit 54
yeah.
into Liberal. That might be a better idea. And maybe it cuts you half hour off the time.
Okay, so Dodge to,
Or, yeah, Larned to Dodge to Liberal.
I don't know if I've ever been to it.
You're not missing.
You
Yeah, I was gonna.
That's what-
That was a quick response. Holy cow!
you would remember if you'd been there.
I'm sure.
Now I'm a little worried.
Retired.
These aren't scathing
Not
reviews this morning.
returns.
We're gonna get on Google and see what else everybody else has to say. Oh, yeah.
The Air Museum is pretty nice. Pretty interesting.
They're having some kind of welcoming reception or something.
Yeah, that
there
opening
on-
thing that's
yeah.
at the Air Museum, it said.
And the Wizard of Oz thing was kind of cheesy, but kids are probably.
Well, I mean, we're from Kansas. I mean, what do we not know about it? Yeah, if you're from, someplace on the east and west coast, that's probably pretty entertaining, but.
But they supposedly updated Dodge City using on their front street. It's
That the-
really nice.
The Boot Hill or whatever it is, yeah.
Say if it's anything like 2477 going up along Tuttle Creek Boulevard, just because there's a lot of traffic doesn't mean people don't pass. I got one.
That's true.
I got one this morning. I had to stop. They were coming up. They passed 2 or 3 people, and there wasn't. And I had to put on the brakes to let them back in.
Oh, I saw someone driving the other day that was just amazing. It was right where there's lots of wrecks that Sedalia church turn off, they're coming from this direction. You can't see over that hill. And yeah, and I could see the headlights in my rear view mirror. I thought, oh no, I'm serious, but you made it. Just people. They're in such a doggone hurry. Yeah, I can't believe there wasn't a wreck there.
The problem with that 83 of those, not only the cattle trucks and other trucks, but the wind farm parts, and then they won't let you pass if you could anyway.
Well, they're so long, that, you really have to have a long stretch to get around them, so.
That's what I always wonder. It takes a convoy of about 30 vehicles to put one of those, just one of those towers together. By the time they have all the pilot cars and semis and each blade apart, I always wonder if they calculate those fossil fuels that are going into putting up that project to make them so energy efficient.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it wasn't for the incentive, they'd be worth it.
Oh, there's no doubt without the government subsidy. Speaking of wind towers.
Yes.
What's the status of ours? Don't know.
Last I was aware of.
Gary with a cutting torch?
Clancy was looking at the contracts. That's what I knew.
Gotcha.
I had a call from somebody that wanted to climb one for fun.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea.
Clancy has no concerns with that.
No liability there at all.
I've got a list of people I'd like to allow to climb. I'm probably on a list of other people who'd like to see me climb that.
If we can get around the liability thing, I'm willing to watch, take pictures and video.
I won't get very high up. I don't like heights. These shoes are a little too high for me.
Okay, point taken.
So you're talking about like windmills or? what?
No, we have those
County
wind
shop.
turbines out at the shop that don't work.
Oh,
Get them taken down.
Somebody offered to take them down just for the scrap, right?
Well, no, I think he was
No.
gonna refurbish them and
Yeah,
put them out somewhere.
We've had both those things be offered. And the last offer was to take them down and then we're going to transfer one to some other local entity. But we haven't got the contract terms sorted out. And I'm not saying there's ongoing negotiation about that. We need to revisit.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if they're still interested.
Last time we did it.
Okay, well, it is 9 o'clock. So instead of talking about wind, let's talk about sewer. I don't know which one's better or worse there, but we're gonna go with it, yeah.
Alrighty, good morning, commissioners.
Good morning.
I'm Amanda Smoller, Planning Director. So I have two items before you this morning. Of course, they do both have to do with the sewer district. So a couple things. We, of course, talked about going with option one, connecting to the city of Manhattan, and that is what you folks have approved for the sewer benefit district. So now we can proceed with our CDBG grant application and the USDA Rural Development Grant, as well as the KDHE revolving loan that we're going to be applying for as well. The CDBG and the USDA Rural Development Grants need income surveys. We did one for the USDA Rural Development Grant back in 2016, I want to say, 2016 or 2018. But that application never went forward. So now we're back and we need to do an updated one. CDBG needs it. We are contracting with governmental assistance services to assist us with the income survey. They'll do everything from start to finish. They'll get everything put together for us. Actually do the income surveys are going to go door to door. That's what we agreed upon to do. They'll actually be at our meeting tonight to hopefully get started and at least introduce themselves so people know who's going to be coming to their door and they don't. They don't worry that who's the stranger at my door. They've maybe at least seen a face and are aware of what's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks. And we need this work. It's a pretty tight turnaround, which they can do for us. We need it done by middle of June. So we have time to apply for the next rounding of funds, which I think the first one is in July. So the contract with governmental assistance services is of course attached. It's pretty straightforward. Of course, your legal has reviewed it. It will be $4,400 for us to do this income survey. And that'll kind of segue a little bit into my second piece, but I know we'll get through this one first. Again, this will be reimbursed from the grant funding down the line. But of course, we'll again talk about that in a minute. We'll need, of course, to borrow from the general fund to cover it in the meantime. From the grant application down the road. So for the first item, I'm just hoping to have your approval and the chairman's signature on the contract with governmental assistance services for the income survey.
When that says county general fund, which specific fund is that coming out of? Is that coming, we discussed maybe economic development?
The general.
Okay.
The general department within the general fund.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's why I had to clarify. That's a little confusing.
Amanda, I had a question.
Sounds
on
good,
this
generally speaking.
Consultant, they talk about the door-to-door surveys, which, I wouldn't open my door to tell somebody how much I made. So I was just wondering, do they leave anything with people, or how do they do that to get people to actually give them their income levels?
Yeah, I know we had that problem, of course, before when it was done a few years ago. Some people, they don't want to answer their door, or they don't want to give you the information you're looking for. We did have a lot of success with people providing the information we needed. And then I believe Monty and Bob followed up with phone calls and got some additional information through those. And then there was just ones that we just didn't get. Some people just, of course, don't want to provide that information. But I can definitely talk to Brett because I'm not 100% sure. I believe he did talk about there's some information they'll leave. Again, they'll have information tonight for folks. Again, to hopefully get them, aware of what's happening and why we need it. And again, get the faces to who's knocking on the door. But I believe he said there's like a little flyer that we can leave in the doorway if people don't answer, and then we can follow up with folks as well.
No, and that picks up everybody in town that live in the place. It doesn't survey the people that necessarily own the property.
Yes, it's the people who actually live there, whether they be renters or owners.
Okay.
Yeah, whoever's actually living in the house.
Yeah, I can see though. I mean, stranger coming to your door asking what your income is. You're not gonna. I don't. And And I don't know if they do, in Riley, they had the forms, they left the form, you didn't have to hand the forms, you could fill out the forms and then mail it in. That's when they did.
Mhm.
Yeah,
This
that's
was
how we've done
10 or
it.
12 years ago when they did one in Riley for a project. And I don't know if that's what their plan is or. So you aren't giving the information to that person, you're getting, you fill out the
I'm
form.
concerned
mail
about
it in.
that with where we're at and stuff. If going door to door is comfortable for several different reasons for people at this point in time. So
It's definitely.
maybe more
it's-
difficult than under normal circumstances.
Yeah, well, I went door to door at Keats last summer. And, got some good reception, but a lot of people didn't want to talk.
Mhm.
So it was kind
Mixed.
of a mixed bag,
Well,
so.
hopefully this meeting tonight will help.
True.
Yeah. Get the information out. That's
Yeah,
what's going
that's,
on.
that's our hope, that we'll get a good amount of folks at the meeting tonight, so we can let them know where we are and why we need that information. And again, we know what with these kinds of things, we're never gonna get everybody, some people just aren't comfortable, but at least hopefully we'll be able to get a good amount and at least let them know what we're up to, and why this information is important.
Hear what they have to say tonight.
Right.
Yeah, I'd go ahead and then move to approve the contract with Government Assistance Services for the Sewer District Income Survey.
I would second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded on approval of the contract with Government Assistance Services for the Keats Sewer District Income Survey. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for that. And then our next item, of course, has to do with the funding of the cost for the income survey. It's $4,400. There is about $2,300 in the Keats sewer fund currently. And so I apologize, what I had put in my commission agenda report, I requested $400 for the survey, but I'll actually only need, because there is some funds in there currently. You can just request a $2,500 to cover the survey and leave just a bit of funds. A little bit of money in that fund. So I would amend this agenda report and ask for $2,500 loan from the general fund to cover the income survey. Again, it will be reimbursed once we get the grant funds down the line.
Is that going to make a difference when we get the reimbursement from the grant? And where it comes out of or where it's been, the money?
What do you mean?
Well, like if we take $2,500 out of the sewer district, are they gonna count that as money that needs to be reimbursed by the grant?
Yes, it has to be.
Okay,
Yeah.
all
It
right.
would be as if you went to the bank and borrowed it, but we're functioning in that capacity rather than adding on the additional cost of bond counsel in order to get a $2,500 loan. It doesn't make sense to incur those costs as well.
Okay,
And
There
just
is a $15,000 loan that we had already approved for Keats in 2019. That's why there's still a little bit of funding left from
That's okay. We already have a loan to them for the funding
from the
that they've
general
got started.
fund. Yes. So this is in addition to that.
so the commissioners know we're very careful on these benefit districts because just those people that are within that benefit district are responsible for all these costs and to pay back the general taxpayers of Riley County when they borrow those funds. And even if this project doesn't go any farther, this benefit district, this group of people are still responsible for this, even if we don't get anything built, what
Right.
costs we've spent today.
Which is what we did with Bridgeview. So we didn't go on through with that, and so we had to do those assessments based on what they had borrowed from the general fund.
I'd move to approve the loan from the general fund for the Keats Sewer District in the amount of $2,500 at 6% interest.
I would second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded on approval of a $2,500 loan from the general fund for the Keats Sewer District. All those in favor? Aye.
Thank you for that. So again, tonight we will have the Keats Sewer District meeting at the church. Of course, again, hoping to have a good turnout. Next Thursday, of course, I have my staff update for you folks, and I will update you as to how it went. Thank you.
Next commissioner, we have Plant B, 915.
I dropped this off this morning. Yeah.
Most that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I take them to the shortcut. The car right in front of me also. Left and circle back. You don't know what are you doing? I'm right here. I'll stick to the doors and go back. Yeah, I'm sure. I know, right? Yeah, it's like, oh, go back to that. You're driving.
They're in there, but it's, if you get it out. That's what mine, yeah. They have to bring it to the yard, basically.
How is the drive to Dallas?
6 an hour. It's all 35. We put Steve there away. It's
Just
just
want to go really fast. That's.
80s.
That's pretty good. On the East Coast, the highest usually is 65. That's like the highest.
That's interesting, like, depends on whenever you get in Texas though, because the 80s, like.
Oh, that's, you don't go over it.
No.
Oh, everything is
Minimum.
80, okay.
It's the minimum.
Well, I noticed that when we were driving here from the East Coast, like, we were like, look,
Just chilling, yes.
I drive fast, but like, people. I don't know if I drive fast, but.
Oh, boy.
He's like,
Oh,
you're
great,
driving
thank you.
really fast. She's not, she's over. But I'm here. Everything's okay, Lisa? You guys are 115 now or?
9:35.
Or, you know? I was up too. I love them. Thumbers. Right over my mouth. Okay.
But long after that was.
Right on top.
How long is it
Those
gonna
my
be
fault,
for,
right?
Lindsay?
Just in case.
Until 9:35.
We're in breakfast session. Take my butt out.
You haven't actually looked at it.
I know, well, I didn't even see. Should know better than when you're up there. It's usually, but.
Got a point. She does have a point. With that, it is 9:15, so I guess, do you have anything?
Yes, please ask the board to add an executive session at that time.
Okay, I'll go ahead and move that we add an executive session for legal advice on potential litigation.
Potential, yes.
Okay, just wanted to check. Okay, for purpose of potential litigation.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded on the executive session. All those in favor?
Aye.
With that, I'll move that the county commission, including Chairman Ford, Commissioner McKinley, and Commissioner Folke, recess into executive session on potential litigation for the purpose of consultation with Clancy Holman, Riley County Counselor, attorney for the commission, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship, an exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act. The open meeting to resume in the county commission chamber at 9:35 a.m.
I'll second.
Okay, that motion's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'm going to go ahead and move that the Board of County Commissioners come out of executive session.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded on coming out of executive session. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I will also move the record reflect action shall be taken consistent with the consensus reached in executive session.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded on consensus. All those in favor?
Aye.
And we are at 9:35, so it's time for Kevin and an IT update.
All right. Kevin, if you minimize that direct, you should be behind there. All right. Scroll down any more. I think I got it up. Go. And exit out of that. Save, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Good morning, commissioners.
Morning.
Morning.
Well, it seems like only a week since I've been here, but I guess it has been close to a month, so. Quick update on the ITGS activities in May so far. So we have kind of kicked back into the move season. We are assisting several departments. As the commission knows, they had the potential alternate trial site out at the theater. Went out the other day and helped the district court folks take out all the equipment we had there and totally vacated that location. And the equipment is in storage for now, both in IT and over at the district court, ready for whatever they need to do next. So that one was a move. We assisted the planning department with some employee equipment moves to reflect their additional person there. Also working with health department and EMS to potentially create a new conference room area, if you will, at the west end of the FCRC. It's an underutilized area. It's been kind of used for storage, this and that. Obviously during COVID, it was heavily used for storage. We're going to try to get some equipment set up over there so they don't have to share the one conference room in that building. So we're in that process right now. I will report that, as I indicated last time, we're about to get our Microsoft Exchange environment upgraded. That upgrade has been completed. We're upgraded from Exchange 2013 to 16. As with any upgrade, there are a few little things that happened here and there we had to tweak around on, but the guys are all over it. We got good vendors that work with us. Mostly in the evenings. So we set up a whole new system, and then all the users would see is the conversion of the mailboxes from the new to the old. So there were a few fits and starts, but we got them all converted over with fairly minimal interruption to any kind of service. I'll just report to the commission that the content editing on our web, well, a couple of things on our website. One, continue to work with the PIO on our upcoming refresh to the Riley County website. We'll be bringing information to the commission and department heads before we proceed on that. But that process is still ongoing. In the meantime, it's been great to have Alice here to do a lot of the content update. I think it's much more consistent and a lot better than it was, frankly. But when we lost Mary, we lost a lot of expertise in that area. So in that vein, as to work with Alice, I got our new technician enrollments and training, and have already got him set up with a login, and he's posting some content updates also. We'll work closely with Alice to make sure we're consistent, obviously, on that look and feel of that website. I'll report that the Attorney's Odyssey system, this is a system that the Attorney's Department's moving to. It's in conjunction with the other departments across the state, I would assume. But it kind of got delayed. It didn't we were partially through the process or started the process, and then COVID came along. It all got shut down, but we're starting the meetings back up, and we'll be working closely with Barry and his staff to get them converted to the new Odyssey system upcoming. We're swapping PCs, as I've indicated. Right now, we're on EOC. Obviously, last night was a little storm that rolled through, so it's very important that equipment at their emergency operations center work. So in that vein, we're putting in new PCs because, as I've reminded the commission before, we usually about 5 to 6 years. They've reached the end of their lifespan. They still run, but they're getting old enough. They start to fail, that sort of thing. So we try to look at about
Yeah, it's a lot better. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And, basically just a lot of normal work right now, kind of shifting back into a more normal phase of it. So any questions the board might have for ITGIS? Okay, well, things are chugging right along.
All right, thank you, Kevin.
Have a good day. Take a moment, Kevin, while you're here. Commissioners, we kind of brag on all of our departments, but probably not enough. We're working with the Secretary of State's office on this election security, which is a very high level, intricate security, which matter of fact, all of us that are even involved in the calls had to sign off on a waiver and stuff. But we were on a call last week and they were just impressed with how on top of it our IT department was. They wanted to turn it around like a week, and our IT department was ready in half a week to get it done. Had the new hardware rack and everything, but just kudos to how good a job they do. And we have many departments that are like that, but they do a very good job.
And to piggyback off of that, I get a lot of compliments and a lot of good responses to our GIS system, not just here locally, but people that ask questions about it from places across the state. So it's still by far, maybe I'm somewhat biased, but it's still by far probably one of the best, I would say maybe in the Midwest.
Yeah, we get, those are some expensive tools. It's some big expenses for Raleigh County taxpayers, but we feel like we provide the product that makes it worth it. And once you set that expectation or set that bar, it's kind of hard to back off from it. So,
but I mean, even when you look at everything that we've been able to use with that for COVID related things, to me, at least in the last year and a half, it's more than paid for itself.
Yeah,
just there alone.
Certainly expanded our skill set, or they've expanded their skill set. I don't have anything to do with it, actually. So. All right. Well, very good. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Alice seeing at 9:50.
Okay.
Every time.
Is this connected to a printer, do you know?
I don't know. You need somebody to print it off?
And try it and say.
We'll see.
Commissioners, yeah, that's the printer right back there.
Okay. I have it printed off on my desk and I forgot to bring it over, and because they're doing the washing on the buildings. Oh, there we go.
Actually got sun outside.
Yeah. You know what that means, right?
We'll see. I keep hearing about potential this afternoon, but it doesn't show anything on the
I didn't see it
forecast or
either.
anything.
Oh.
But everyone's been
I said
saying that.
It would be more of a tornadic
Oh, they did.
event today than yesterday if it warms up.
Had not heard
But I
of that.
don't think it's going to warm up enough. That's what I think.
That's on our wheat tour last night. He said there's a 90% chance of rain when he schedules one of those. In fact, they're out there usually they eat and then go out. They thought, well, because you could see the rain, off to the side. So they went out to the field first and then came back and it all stayed off away from us.
Yeah. Yeah, a few sprinkles on the way home yesterday, but nothing very heavy. See what this afternoon tonight brings.
Say it sure looked like we were going to get this off to the west. It was really getting dark. That's southwest a little bit. But
I was looking on the radar and seeing that hail core, and I'm like, I don't like that.
No.
Hook echoes, all that other stuff I can deal with. When I see that white on the radar, I'm like, oh, no, no, no.
Don't like dents on a black Dodge.
No. I told you my story about hail, right?
Yeah, with your friend's car.
Yeah. Softball size hail coming through Lyons County back in 98 or 99, or whenever it was. And we totaled a friend's car because we drove right through it, shattered everything.
Oh.
It was on my side of the car, but broke out all the windows, knocked the little T on the top down, everything. It was, yeah,
It's terrible.
come home, my whole left side of my right side of my arm was all bruised. It was, yeah. Yeah.
Or you find an underpass, try to hide out. Probably isn't one in some of those.
Yeah, not down in Lyons
not
County,
the
coming
Lyons
back through
area.
Morris County.
Oh.
Not many big highways that way.
We went down there for a baseball tournament and it got canceled. So it probably would have been smart just to have stayed in Emporia, but we decided to come back home and there was no place to go except just try to get through it. So it was what it was.
No haze got hit here last night.
Yeah, my friend's out there. He mentioned that to me.
On one of
Ellis
the
County.
gardening sites and somebody, like, all of their tomato plants were just.
Oh,
Yeah.
I actually ended up, I just have little seedlings for like my beans and my cucumbers still, and so I put coffee mugs on them. So I was so worried that I was gonna lose them.
It worked.
Please tell me you took a picture of that.
I did take a picture.
Okay, cool.
I had to, be innovative last night. So what am I gonna put on here? So I was like, coffee mugs.
All right. Well, with that, it's 9:50. I don't know how you're going to top that. But,
I know, right?
I'll let you try.
You'll laugh, but it worked.
Yes, it did. I
Okay.
can see it.
So let me pull up. So this will be my update for the month of May. Just size right here. So as Kevin mentioned, we continue to work on the web edit and redesign. This is a very tedious task because before we even start doing the redesign, as I mentioned, I'm meeting with all of the department heads to edit pages, and there's a significant amount of edits that need to be made. And so I've met with most. I just now have to find the time to sit and make all the changes, which is very time consuming. So we actually pushed off our first meeting with Civic Design. Civic Plus, we were gonna meet at the end of May. We pushed that off to June just so I have a little bit more time to go in there and make the changes. Part of the problems too is the kind of the modules that they use to create the pages. We have a lot of outdated modules on there, so I'm having to update those to newer modules and get rid of older content. And so that is something that is still in the works. Worked closely with Shiloh here with her new appointment system to get the word out. So we did posting on social media, we did posting on Facebook. You can see this right here is Facebook that we did. This is the new appointment system here. We did an alert that right now, if you go to the homepage for Riley County, there's a banner at the very top just letting people know that we have a treasurer's office has a new appointment system. And then I also worked with Shiloh to make this pretty little graphic here that says click here to make an appointment, just so that it's bold and easier for people to find on the website. Health department, of course, this continues to be very time consuming as we continue to try to vaccinate individuals of the community. But not only are we working on vaccination events, but just also education about the vaccine and about COVID. Now that we've kind of gotten all those people that really wanted the vaccine vaccinated, we're working to educate others and kind of correct some of the misinformation that's out there. So you'll see posts such as this one, 14 diseases we've controlled thanks to vaccines. Just kind of some guidance from the health department also that if you're not vaccinated, if you are vaccinated, you do not need to wear a mask per CDC at these specific events. We did a Facebook Live earlier in May called about COVID and kids. We had 2 pediatricians from the area join us, and it was pretty well attended by those in the community. There was lots of questions that were asked to the doctors, and got some good information out there. We've also been doing, you'll see this, we have 2 doses of the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine left. Aaron Price really hates to waste the vaccine doses, as I think most people do. However, at the end of the day, sometimes they have some doses left in vials, especially at the health department. So they want to make sure that they can use as many of them up and not throw them out. So we've been posting this to Facebook and having a really good reception to it, having people call and come right over. So we will continue to do that so that we can make sure that we use up all of those vaccines. Last week was EMS week, so I got to work with EMS, which was cool because I haven't really been able to do too much with them. The health department's kind of been hogging a lot of my time there. But so we started off the week with educating people on what EMS is. We had a little video on Facebook that kind of went through the people that make up EMS, which includes paramedics, EMTs, and AEMTs, advanced EMTs, and just kind of let people know what EMS exactly does. Then we did a quick little video with one of the members of Riley County EMS about 3 tips for installing a car seat correctly. Riley County EMS does the car seat checks. And so we had one of the individuals that's trained on that to kind of talk about the three big tips that parents need to know when installing car seats and to make sure that they're correctly installed. Then we did on Thursday, skipping over here, we did a Facebook Live tour of EMS Station 1. Abby guided the tour, it was pretty neat. We had the ambulance with the sirens on, got to do a tour of the ambulance. It was the first time we did something like that. We didn't have tons of people, but we did have a decent crowd for the first time doing it on the EMS page. Riley County EMS, the Facebook doesn't have a very large reach, but we're working on that and trying to find some different ways, different social media posts for them. Then on Friday, we finished out the week with a thank you video highlighting a bunch of the EMS staff, just thanking them for what they do every day, because they've really been on the front lines of this pandemic over this past year and have continued to help with all of the vaccine clinics. Also, in addition to the weekly press releases on COVID numbers, worked with the child care licensing at the health department. It's the Wildcat Region Child Care Licensing. They received a complaint from a family about a facility, issues at a facility. They went in and investigated, and what they saw led the head of the health department to order an emergency order of suspension. So they pretty much served this place in Junction City, and they were shut down immediately. So we issued a press release on that and did some media inquiries on that. Unfortunately, we were not able to provide a lot more information than what was in the press release. But I think this is important, number one, to let the community know some of the other things the health department does besides vaccinate individuals, that we also have this branch, child care licensing, which is an integral program within the health department that is checking on these daycare centers, child care places to make sure that they are treating children well and that the facilities are in order. So we wanted to also kind of tout that program through this press release. We approved 2 weeks ago the social media moderation policy, which I've added to all of our social media accounts. I've also added a link to our website. So I pretty much put the policy on the website, and then from all the social media accounts, I linked to this policy. So that way, if people would like to read it, they can read it there. And then social media process is something that I'm working on. It's a document that will kind of provide some guidance for it's all employees in the county, how to handle social media. Just, the different platforms and what the guidance is and the process that we kind of want to follow. So I'm working on that, which is another pretty detailed, involved project. And then finally, last week I toured the mobile command center with Russell and who else was there? Kevin Hauser was there, somebody from the fire department, PD, just to kind of talk about some of the upgrades that we need out there and some of the other needs out there, just to make sure that we are prepared should we have to call out the mobile command center. I think that's about it. I continue to work with a bunch of departments to help them get messages out. We've got the transfer station is closed next Saturday, and so we've got an alert will come up on the webpage next week to let people know about that. We also have something on social media, and then Riley County on the webpage has a calendar, which really is not used by many departments at all besides Shiloh's office. So I've been starting to put more events on there so that can be more of a place for information for individuals. So I put stuff like the transfer station being closed next Saturday on there, and just trying to kind of get more information out through different channels. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Maybe a Photoshop that needs to be done on our BOCC page.
Oh yeah, a Photoshop?
Photoshop.
Okay, what do you need done?
Instead of the blue and white jacket that I'm wearing in my picture, can we try to make it maybe purple?
We can take another picture.
I don't know. I don't feel like breaking cameras at this point.
Photoshop. I think I can get in trouble for that. I don't know. Just so y'all know too, and part of the cleanup with the website, you'll notice the Board of County Commission page is a little more succinct, because Board of County Commission and agendas and everything was listed in like 20 different places. I think it was really confusing for the community. And when I kind of talk to people in the meetings that I've been having, they're like, I don't know where to go on that website. Yeah. So all the information is still there. It's just kind of more succinct and easier to find. Also easier to find information about the three of you that was kind of buried on the page. So I did shift some things around, so if you get complaints, let me know, if you get compliments, let me know.
I saw it and I
Okay.
actually thought that was good.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did.
so I think it's super bulky, so just kind of slowly making my way through. And if you guys have pictures that you want to add to any pages or any other information you want to add to bios or anything like that, please let me know, or any suggestions for the website, I'm definitely open.
Yeah, we might want to take a look at that and look at maybe, I don't know if we put like specific years, like how many years I've lived here. I think that might be from 3 years ago.
Okay.
Might want to look at that and update that.
Yeah, so if y'all want to check, I
Yeah,
mean, I think
I did
Catherine's.
already.
Okay, you did, okay.
And I think it needs to be updated.
Okay, so just let me know what
Okay.
changes need to be made on both of your bios should be new. But again, if you ever see anything that you're like, I want to change this or add this, or you've added a board or gotten recognition, that's like too easy to add that kind of stuff to make those updates.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alice.
Next commissioner, you have Russell, Stuckey at 10:05. Doesn't look like our sun lasted very long.
No,
You jinxed it. It's your fault.
it was really dark this morning. I was getting.
Man, it was.
It's getting to that time of the year where it gets light around, 5:45, 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
It wasn't real
starts
light
around
this
5:30.
morning. Yeah, it wasn't really light this morning, so.
Yeah.
No, and then it got darker and darker.
It did. It actually was a little lighter at 6, and then about 6:45, it actually felt like it was darker.
Yeah, I had a hard time waking my dog up because he thought it was the middle of the night, I guess. I don't know. He had a.
I don't know what happened to me. I went to sleep, and I'm usually awake during these events. I wasn't last night. I was out.
I wish I wasn't.
I walked outside, thought, what in the world happened?
I closed the window so I didn't hear it. But I
Yeah.
have them open.
That's my problem. I like to hear the rain and the thunder,
Yeah.
so I opened the windows, but then there was a shade that kept like slapping on the window from the wind, and so I kept getting up to fix it. Should just shut it and put like a noise machine on or something.
Yeah, I thought they'd probably start raining in, and the windows are right by my bed, and I thought, oh, that's no fun. So
That just keeps you from having to take a shower in the morning.
Oh, yeah, right. I don't like this. I've been around them all my life. I just don't like the storms.
You don't?
No, I don't. Unless I can get outside and see what's happening.
Yeah.
I don't
I was
like
part of the
everything.
Skywarn team, so I've been more than used to the weather.
Yeah.
We were talking about that 08 tornado and how it happened at night, and that's one thing I'll never do again is chase at night. Not doing that. Not doing that ever again after that night.
We used to stand out on the porch and watch everything happen. If we started getting close, run to the basement.
Yeah.
You see some of those memes where people are like outside grilling and drinking beer and
Yeah.
waving American flags.
That was the last time they were seen.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, I remember a couple of years ago when they had the tornado that went north of Wamego and the one that went south. There's a whole bunch of people down on Lincoln Street just looking around. So people took some photos of it. It's like, yep, that's Kansas.
How do you get into that tunnel? That might be a good storm shelter.
Yeah. It's quite a haul from it would be a great storm shelter for the Warren. It's like a maze down there.
You can get into it from the worm, huh? In the basement?
Mhm.
Huh. That'd be a good place to open it up and you could move prisoners back. Those tunnels have a lot of history in them.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
I've heard all sorts of rumors over the years. This building's probably pretty solid if a tornado would hit.
Yeah, it's
Windows
made to be
fly out.
bomb-proof, so maybe an EF5 if it hits it direct, maybe, but outside of that, it would be
I
pretty
was really
sturdy.
built for that. I was built to take
Yeah,
a hit
built for
at that
that.
level.
But the windows
Suck you out the window.
Moving
Windows would be
people out, there's
gone.
windows there.
Yeah, the windows can't handle a north wind at 10. But the rest of the building's pretty good.
It's like that old wise tale that they used to have about opening up windows and doors before a tornado hits.
Yeah, so the pressure goes.
Yeah, they're
No,
saying
it
that's
doesn't
not the way to go. It actually hurts the structure in front of it and puts you more likely of getting hit with debris.
Yeah.
And with that, Russell's here. But you had an interesting night.
Yeah, if I'm not too bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, because I was at the UFC till about 3 a.m.
There's coffee over there if you need it.
So Russell Stuckey, Emergency Services Director. So I've had a chance to look at this since I typed it last week. I don't know if you have any questions in particular on anything, we can sure touch on it. I assume you read, or I didn't just read everything to you. We've been working on obviously getting deputy, or on the 911 side, we had staff go to training in Lynchburg that I did go to maybe this fall. I can get to it. They said it was really good. They learned a lot. Tyler and Chase, both from dispatch, and David Adams went along with Eric Sievertson from KSU, and then KCOM staff. Working with Clancy to finish up get the acceptance agreement done on the radio system. There's still a discrepancy on the spare parts that L3 Harris hasn't cleared up yet, and so we're still holding the 10%, approximately $80,000 back that Harris has asked a couple times, hey, so go ahead and get this done. Once you get your end of it done. So we're still working on that. Working on kind of a combination of 911 and emergency management. We hosted several of our PIOs last week to come look at the mobile command post to see what that resource looks like to them and get their input on the upgrades that would be beneficial to them, to that piece of equipment. That the commission approved some CIP funds to use to upgrade, bring it up to date technology wise, particularly. Then today we have a meeting with the users of the command post, law enforcement, fire, EMS, tech, IT, to go over, get their input on what needs to be done to it and how. I think that's the highlights of 911. Getting on the fire side, working on getting the preliminary stuff done with the architect and of property for the 2 new fire stations at Ashland and University Park. Working with Clancy again on that to get the final paperwork done on the deeds and titles to in particular, the University Park property. Of course, our fire calls have been down, thankfully, for the so that's helped. I think the difference from last month to this month in the fuel budget alone was, I think we were in excess of like $5,000 or $6,000 last go around to $500 or $600 this go around. So they weren't over for 5 gas first. So.
Thank you.
The triple.
I never sneeze once.
I should have brought Sean with me
I'll stay on.
to introduce him.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm gonna have Alice ask him to come down. So deputy chief, the new deputy chief, John Martin started. So get him down here and introduce him. Tuesday, we done one interview for the other deputy chief's job. And so hopefully, and that went well, so hopefully next Thursday, I hope to come. We'll see what other applications we get between now and Friday. We just advertised internally. Hopefully next Thursday, we can come for approval to make an offer for that other deputy chief's job. So, and week from tomorrow is Chief Regal's last day, as you know. That's probably the highlights on the fire side. Any questions on that part? In emergency management, we had, I'm doing good today. We have another new employee that I should have had Alice bring down too. But,
Like I said, there's coffee over there.
yes, I said I was at the EOC till 3 a.m. this morning, so I apologize.
No, that's perfectly okay.
So Baldwin Fisher is our new 20-hour-a-week part-time person that started Monday. And so far, he seems like he's gonna fit in really well, along with Deputy Chief Martins, and working on a lot of normal stuff, participated in the Fort Riley tabletop. Again, we've been walking our 2 or 3 severe weather events between Lori and I. And met with David Adams and John Ellerman and Gary out at Public Works about the
What else do you need?
It's like you didn't ask me again, so I.
You might just bring everybody down.
Yeah.
We'll fit it in somehow, some way.
Might want to change in your tennis shoes.
So this is our new Deputy Chief of Administration, John Martins. So this is the dedication. Well, John's been with the fire district since 2016 as a volunteer. He, well, I'll let you introduce yourself and give your history a little bit.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
My name is John Martins. I'll be the Deputy Chief for Admin here, Fire District. As Russell said, I've been in the county for about 5 years. Spent some time in my college years here as well, getting involved in the fire service. I did it full time in the area here shortly or temporarily, and then I went down to Wichita, where I was from, in that area, in a full-time capacity. Also spent some time owning my own business for a few years, serving the public safety marketplace. Also did a little bit of work as a factory representative for one of the manufacturers who builds water flow products. So things that we use every day that move water, pump water, control water. I spent some time, had a 10-state coverage area, and was traveling a lot. I liked it, but when this opportunity presented itself, I saw it as a once in a lifetime to bring me back home and get to serve again full time. So
Good.
very excited to work with you guys, and we appreciate all you do for us.
Yeah. Same in reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Especially on nights like last night.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And a month ago or a month and a half ago.
Sure.
The wildland season. So.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Aboard.
Yeah, appreciate it. I'll step my thing back up. All right, thanks.
Your next one's right behind you there.
And so, and then this is Baldwin Fisher. He's our new planner, part-time 20 hours a week. He started on Monday, and I'll let him introduce himself. Let's do a little brief background.
Surprise.
As Russell said, I started on Monday. I'm retired military. Prior to this, I was the emergency management director for Lincoln County. But among other things, the drive was kind of exceptional. Because I live in Junction, so I decided to opt for something a little bit closer to home. And so I'm just looking forward to being here, helping Riley County achieve all of its goals.
Glad to have you on board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. So, not like.
Anyone else you need else to do?
Yeah.
Can you get some? Yeah, can you get some Starbucks and some donuts? I appreciate it.
I think that's gonna cost you, Russ.
That Vista burger I might be calling that.
Well, see, she wants me to call her whenever we got a good fire, so she can come hop in the truck and go get good pictures. So, you know.
Oh, you think that's.
When we go do that one of these times, we'll have to come back to like Vista. She said she hadn't had a Vista burger yet.
Oh, yeah, that's a must. That's a
Have to
must.
do that.
Yeah.
So then, I think the. Nope.
Say, where you going?
Yeah, I thought I included this, the fire report in when I submitted my step. Report, but apparently I didn't.
You can just email it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to get a copy of that when you get a chance. No hurries.
So we tried a little bit different format this time, and like I said, I'll get you some copies or email to you. We're still playing around with how the reporting was done and figuring out the best format that makes it the most. This is divided out more by station other than just total calls. So my thought is it'll give you a little bit better picture of where the calls are in the county and what stations are busy and what aren't as busy. So I will get that to you though. So the other thing I do have to share with you so that you can look at it is our proposed job description that I've been working with Elizabeth on for the 2 deputy chief positions where, as we discussed, we're going to switch from a fire chief and a deputy chief to have 2 deputy chiefs, one of admin and one of operations. So I'll share those with you today, and then again, I anticipate, coming back Thursday of next week and submitting a card. If you have any questions between now and then, on anything in particular on those, don't hesitate to give me a call or shoot me an email.
And you'll put these in next Thursday's packet? Thank you.
There's one.
I see a typo there, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure I might find 1 or 2 more every time you read it, you're like, oh, I don't know if I want it to look exactly like that. So anyway, again, Elizabeth and I are working on those together, and hopefully bring them back to you. So I think that is all I have, unless the commission has any questions.
I got one item I want to talk to you about here just briefly, but here.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thanks, Russell.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll take it.
I'm getting sleepy too.
I thought a little earlier, you looked like you were getting sleepy there.
I know, I was like, and I have my coffee too. Must be the weather.
Actually, these are really easy.
Everybody's leaving.
Yeah, I step.
You go, yeah, you walked up there and everybody left.
Bob has that impact on a crowd.
Turns out, man, much like my dating life.
Show up, they all disappear.
Everybody know, they have any concerns about them, then that conversation.
Rich. I went through some of the maps that we've on the Keats, and I found one that had labels, not the actual number. And it came up with 68, not 67, so I looked for the discrepancy. And there was one that didn't have a house on it. And I think that was just an error, because it just wasn't counted on the dots. And I think that that label map was created from the dot map. So there's an issue there. It looks like that, we brought it up for discussion, as far as those, combining the lots, but I think somewhere along the line, they decided not to go with that. Because it was an action that had been taken in order to build. And so I guess for whatever reason, I decided not to do it.
So we're at 67.
Okay, those lots that we were talking, the buildable lots, that's somewhere you can build a house on without, that are vacant, that doesn't require any further action. Just get a building permit and go. So, yeah, I wasn't like sure
At
how.
least we got it clarified.
Thank you.
Yeah, before tonight.
I took those slides and I separated them out a little bit, and widened it out. Also found a new boundary map instead of the one that is, it's out like this, it's straight up. It's the same boundary, but it's clearer and it doesn't have the floodplain information on it. I don't want that to be a distraction.
Okay, it is 10:20, so we're gonna get started here.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
The State Highway Commission, Kansas Department of Transportation, made an application with Riley County Planning and Development requesting to rezone a portion of an unplatted tract from AG Agricultural District to D2 Light Industrial. There's no request or requirement to plat the property at this time. The subject site is generally located approximately 2,000 feet east of Seth Child Road on the north side of Tuttle Creek Boulevard. You may recognize this little area as the shop site. It's been that way since 1960. The subject site is a 1.73 acre portion of a 3.7 acre parent tract. The site is developed with a main shop building built circa 1960 that serves as the Tuttle Creek Boulevard KDOT shops / office. KDOT is planning to raise that building and replace it with a larger and more modern building. Inexplicably, when the west portion of the tract was zoned to D2 Light Industrial District during the 1974 county zoning conversion process, the entire parent tract was not zoned to D2. Consequently, in order for the aforementioned building to be replaced, the proper zoning has to be in place for the existing / proposed use. That's the reason for the proposed zoning change. As mentioned, the subject site is currently zoned ag, a district shown here in gray. That's the portion of the tract to be zoned to D2. The majority of the surrounding property is zoned at AG Agricultural District shown in gray. You get single family residential off to the north east and commercial district off to the east. There are no variances, special uses, or conditional uses associated with the site. Riley County Fire District number 1 will continue to serve the site. The nearest county fire station is the Tuttle Creek Fire Station, station number 12, located at 4120 Highway 13, just right around the corner. The zoning request was reviewed with the 2015 Manhattan Urban Area Comprehensive Plan. It just happens to be in their zoning or their study area. According to the plan's future land use map, the subject site is located within the northwest planning area. The future land use for the subject property is appropriately projected to be public / semi-public. It's specifically called out in the future land use plan. As far as the goals and objectives of that plan, was reviewed with that plan. Obviously, the proposed zoning for of the property is in general conformance with the comprehensive plan's goals, objectives, and policies. And this is the building that KDOT needs to replace, centrally located on the site and visually screened from the highway with mature cedar trees. Unless you're looking for it, you can't see it. On Monday, May 10th, the Riley County Planning Board unanimously forwarded a recommendation of approval of the request to the Board of County Commissioners, as it was determined that it is in general conformance with the comprehensive plan and meets the requirements of Riley County zoning regulations and sanitary code. Staff recommends the Board of County Commissioners approve the request to rezone the subject property from AG Agricultural District to D2 Light Industrial, as it has been determined that it is in general conformance with the comprehensive plan, meets all the requirements of this Riley County zoning regulations and sanitary code. It's essentially a cleanup. It's housekeeping. If you have any questions for me, I'd be glad to field those.
Who actually owns the property?
It's the Highway Commission.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
And according to representatives from KDOT, the reason for the replacement of the building, obviously, is 2021 and it was built in 1960, but the equipment that they have now and the loaders and things like that just
Don't fit in the
base
doors.
longer, so it's time.
They've been redoing those all across the state.
Yes,
For
that's
the
what
last 10 years or so.
I don't think
And
it,
I've looked at that one, I thought, that can't fit anything anymore.
a small VW.
Yeah.
I would guess that won't have any impact on the two construction projects that are being planned there at 13 and 113, correct?
I don't think so.
Okay, I didn't think so. Okay. Okay. Pretty standard then. It's been interesting to see what they build there. That's only of a benefit to us too, to have KDOT,
Yeah.
in the area and available when things are needed. Snow removal.
Since I drive that road a lot.
A lot, or like all the time.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So okay, I'm fine with that.
Get a motion.
Okay, I would make a motion to approve the request to rezone the subject property from AG Agricultural District to D2, which is light industrial.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded on the rezone of the unplatted tract land from agricultural district to D2 light industrial for KDOT. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do we have a line for that?
Yeah.
No, okay.
What's your timeline on getting that done?
I think so. He's already got last for our guys already sitting there, but I think it'll be supposed to be done around November.
Okay, well, I saw those units coming in there. I wondered what was going
I saw those too, yeah. Yeah, they were stationed up there, in the parking lot up at Blue Hills.
on. So it'll be done in November?
They're hoping to,
Pretty quick turnaround.
yeah. Nelson out of Council Road. Up this thing.
Good deal.
Yeah, they plan to start probably about 2 weeks from now.
Pay attention to that.
That's good.
When is this official? Because I'm sure they'll ask me.
When the county commissioners, they sign the resolution, when the resolution is published, rezoning is official.
Is there a 10-day period or something on that? It's just as soon as it's published.
This is published.
Okay. Yes. Reschedule is now for that, but soon.
When will it be published, Bob?
Approximately 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
So prior to a couple weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, Bob, 10:30.
I was watching you earlier and I really found comment.
Get a lot of comments on that picture for some odd reason. It's a great conversation starter, so maybe I should think about that.
Might not like what some of your friends say on there.
Friends.
I mean, friends, real friends.
Oh.
The ones that are the most brutal.
Fortunately for me, all those don't live here anymore, so there's pros and cons to that too.
Yeah, they're probably not looking on the website. So.
If they need something, they're going to come direct to the source. Then my family back out east probably would get a kick out of it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. Cool. I know, it's a good discussion. That makes sense. So is it insane?
Yeah, Bob.
It is 10:30.
Okay, good, good. Okay, good morning, folks. Daniel Sharp has made application with Riley County Planning and Development requesting to rezone an unplatted parcel of land from AG Agricultural District to SF4 Single Family Residential and replat Lot 4 of Little Valley Edition together with the aforementioned unplatted parcel into one lot. Essentially, the applicant is taking action to enlarge its existing residential lot. And so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so the subject site is generally located approximately 300 feet east of the west intersection of Moore's Lane and Zeno Road on the south side of Moore's Lane. The western portion of the subject property was platted as Lot 4 of Little Valley Edition in September of 1985 and rezoned from G1 General Agricultural to A4 Single Family Residential. Until recently, the lot was developed with a single mobile home served by an on-site water well and septic tank lateral sanitary sewer system. The mobile home and property fell into disrepair and was abandoned until it was purchased and cleared by the applicant. The remainder of the subject property is unplatted, undeveloped, and zoned AG agricultural. The applicant wishes to construct a residence as permitted on existing Lot 4. However, due to the need to replace the residence in the preferred location and meet the requirements of the Raleigh County Sanitary Code, it was necessary to expand the size of the lot and eliminate the property boundaries between Lot 4 and the unplatted tracts situated east of the lot. There are actually two of them. It's kind of hard to see here, and I'll show you that in a bit. As mentioned, existing Lot 4 of Little Valley Edition was zoned SF4 Single Family Residential in 1985, shown here in green, and platted as part of the residential development across Zendale Road. The unplatted tracts situated east of the lot are zone ag, shown in gray. The proposed use of the zoning request is to match that of the existing Lot 4 and to reflect the proposed use of the property. Raleigh County Fire District number 1 will serve the site. The nearest county fire station is the Conza Valley Fire Station, which is station number 15, located at 300 Johnson Road. The subject site is located within 5 road miles of a fire station. This is where it gets interesting. A large portion of the subject property is located within the 1% annual chance floodplain shown here in the red hatch pattern, and the 0.2% annual chance floodplain shown here in the blue hatch. However, the 0.2% annual chance floodplain is not considered a regulatory floodplain, at least for now. The area in which the applicant wishes to develop is outside of the regulatory floodplain. The subject property is located within the planning area of the Manhattan Urban Area Comprehensive Plan. The request was reviewed with the goals, objectives, and future land use of that plan. This is the southeast portion of the future land use map of that plan. A portion of the subject property is located within the area projected for rural residential, depicted in pale yellow, and that's that lot 4 of Little Valley Edition. it was determined that the development request is consistent with the goals and objectives of the plan, particularly chapter 3, where it suggests a coordinated and efficient pattern of growth. Staff has determined that the request conforms to the goals and objectives of the plan. The request was also reviewed with the 2009 Vision 2025 Raleigh County Comprehensive Plan, specifically the Development Guidance System, which is in Chapter 12. The first element of the DGS is conformance to the goals, objectives, and policies of the plan. Vision 2025 amendments to the zoning regulations allow for these types of requests, which is consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the plan. The second element is conformance to Chapter 11 and the future land use map. The subject property is located within a designated growth area, which helps. According to the future land use map found in the plan, the projected land use of the property is low to medium density residential. And this is the 2015 comprehensive plan here. Projected use of the property are identical to those projected in the 2015 Manhattan Urban Area Comprehensive Plan. Going back to Vision 2025, the third element in the LISA, excuse me, with the goals. According to the final score of the LISA, the subject property achieved 4,387 points, which is good for moderate for development. When you see the scale, it's almost strong for development. So it's scored very well for the proposed use. Finally, the hardship factor. The applicant disclosed that the hardship, which could result if the request were to be denied, would be the inability to position the home and wastewater system logically on the parcel, which would result in the inability to build at that location, forcing him to sell the property and look elsewhere to build a home. And staff's analysis of that review, the request is consistent with the goals and objectives of the plan. So real quick, this is the preliminary plat, which shows the property boundaries. This is lot 4, spoken of earlier. This is one of the unplatted tracts, and this is the other. As mentioned previously, the platted property or platted portion of the property was once occupied by a mobile home served by an on-site water well and conventional septic and lateral wastewater system. The applicant wishes to construct a residence as permitted on existing lot 4. As mentioned, due to the need to place the residence in the preferred location and meet the requirements of the sanitary code, it was necessary to expand the size of the lot and eliminate the property boundaries between lot 4 and the unplatted tracts situated east of the lot. And this is the final plat. This shows the vacated property lines and that portion of Moore's Lane right-of-way to be dedicated with plat. Few pictures of the property. This is standing on Zendale Road facing north and west, with Moore's Lane visible in the background. This is the general area the former residence was located. Although there's a bit of a clearing, many more trees will need to be removed to allow for the house and the new septic and lateral system. Kind of see that clearing there. Kind of backing up, going forward toward the east on Zendale Road. This is a shot looking back at the northwesterly along Zendale Road, looking back at the tree portion of the subject site. A portion of the subject property is farmed via lease agreement. You can see that across. It's kind of turning to my right. Still on Zendale Road, looking north along the delineation between wooded area and field, with Moore's Lane in the background. And finally, this shot just shows the eastern portion of the applicant's property. A portion of it, as mentioned, is cropped. According to the applicant, he intends on allowing the agricultural use to continue for a while longer, but eventually he stated that he would like to terminate the lease with the lessee and plant trees that will serve as an audio and visual buffer from Zendale Road. So with that, on May 10th, the Riley County Planning Board forwarded a recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners to approve the request to rezone the subject property from AG Agricultural District to SF4 Single Family Residential for reasons listed in the staff report. The board also approved the final plat of current plat, I should say, of the Little Valley Addition Unit 3, including the request to reduce the required agricultural buffer requirements from 200 feet to 100 feet along the east lot line and from 200 feet to 50 feet along the north lot line, as it was determined that all requirements of the Riley County subdivision regulations, zoning regulations, and sanitary code have been met. Staff recommends that the Board of County Commissioners approve the request to rezone the subject property AG Agricultural District to SF4 Single Family Residential for reasons listed in the staff report. Also, staff recommends that the Board of County Commissioners acknowledge the approved final plat of Little Valley Addition Unit 3, accepting any easements, rights of way, or licenses as shown to be dedicated on the plat. Incidentally, if we're talking about that lot 4 out of the original Little Valley Addition, which is right here, it's part of this subdivision here as mentioned, and this would be the second replat of that subdivision. So that's why you're getting Unit 3 rather than Unit 2. So it's not a misnomer, but it may sound it. So that's all I have. If you have any questions for me.
I don't. Does anybody else? Does require, or we'll have to make a motion.
Yeah, I moved to sign a resolution approving the request to rezone the tract of land from AG to SF4.
I would second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded on the rezoning of the agricultural district to a single family residential with lot 4 of Little Valley Addition. All those in favor? Aye. You have a Mylar for that.
Yeah,
There's another one.
Yeah.
There's another one, right? Yeah.
one more. And,
Go ahead. Yeah, while we're doing this. I move to approve the resolution acknowledging the approved final plat of Little Valley Addition Unit 3, accepting easements, right of ways, or licenses as shown to be dedicated on the final plat.
I would second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded on the final plat of the Little Valley Addition. All those in favor? Aye.
Yes, Mylar.
Let's see what we have.
Thank you.
Oh, it just stretches.
Oh, it just hurts.
No, I haven't worked out of They take it down. Yes. That's what I hear. Oh.
When I was in school.
Okay, well, that was the final agenda item. Does anybody else have anything else? I've got one item myself, but I'm just gonna give everybody else a chance first. Okay. I am curious if we're all comfortable in going ahead and moving to our original placement here. And we got a week off, so it won't be till next Thursday, obviously.
Closer together.
Yeah, basically Greg will move over into that spot. I'll move over into here. Clancy will move back here, and then Rich will move back into his spot.
Oh,
And it puts us back into normal frame. It's been about a month since we've kind of loosened everything up. To me, that would be the last one. I discussed it with everybody else. Everybody else seems okay with it, so.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I don't know what that requires, Rich, but,
Not much, just scooting over.
okay. I didn't know if,
Yeah,
Okay, I stay here, you move,
yeah, you stay there.
I stay here, okay.
yeah.
You're the only one that doesn't move.
Okay, I'll leave the pens in here.
Yeah. So, yep, if you got stuff in that drawer, it's time to clean it out.
Yep.
I'll give Clancy's back, and I cleaned his drawer out when we started, so I'm gonna send him a bill for that service. And, we'll go from there.
The chairman was right about one thing. There's this complex 20-page document we need to sign to make this happen.
Yeah.
We'll call it draft number 1.
I'll come down here on Monday, by the way, or Tuesday, and just make sure I'm.
Okay.
So.
Good, sounds good then. Okay.
Now, where will this sign go?
That will probably go bye-bye and it won't be part of the equation anymore, I guess.
What?
The executive session sign.
Because executive sessions used to be isolated.
We're gonna have to probably,
Thanks.
it's gonna make more sense probably to leave it in place, as we're doing,
To leave what in place?
the executive sessions.
Yeah,
moving back
that's
to the
still
other
more
room.
beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
will be,
don't think that changes that at all.
If you're moving, it could probably go in between here, maybe, I don't know.
well, I think the problem there is I don't think it's gonna get picked up. I don't know, is that a requirement to actually have to have?
Wait.
It's just a notice, that way people knew what was going on, that's the only purpose of it.
Somebody comes walking in, it's probably easier to tell them, no, we're really about to go into executive session. We did it at the beginning because we weren't doing what we're doing now.
Yeah.
It's not absolutely required, no. It's not.
Okay, that's, so I mean, unless Public Works or something, or whomever could put maybe a flip deal or something on that front, or,
Front side.
yeah, where you could flip it, but if it's not,
Wouldn't it make more sense to put it on the door?
that's what I would think. It'd be better
Well,
to
what
do it on
about
that side
the
of that.
public watching Zoom? Do they have like this, or do they have?
No,
a-
they get it.
They get that white screen with the date on there. That's why, to me, it's not
So,
really
yeah,
necessary.
that-
That's what I was gonna say, as long as that's being done for
Yeah.
those that are watching.
Okay, good. Yeah, we
Okay,
can get rid
that's
of that.
I think we could just get rid of it. Be
Yeah,
good
sure.
with it. Okay. And then whatever IT needs to do to leverage that, Kevin will know. I don't think you were here when we were originally set up, but whatever you need to do, whatever setup you need to do. And I actually think shifting back to that will put everybody in frame and actually look better on
Yeah.
live stream at that point in time too. So
Clancy doesn't get to hide next door.
That's
no,
the downside. That's
usually Clancy's pretty good until Robin Cole from Pawnee gets here, and then he usually has this tendency of getting up and leaving.
Runs out.
Yeah, we haven't figured that one out yet, and he won't tell us why. So.
only because it makes her anxious.
Outside of that, it should be pretty good. So
Yep, we'll just have this table removed.
okay, sounds good then. When we're getting, that's basically normal.
Back to normal.
Back to normal. So okay, well, keep in mind, don't show up Monday. If you do, you're going to be by yourself because I'm not going to be here. So
None of these calendars is someone's because I've got mine, so.
that one probably goes there.
No, do you guys
Oh,
have?
I've got one.
It'd be
Oh, it might be
Clancy's.
Clancy's, I guess.
Well, I'm not sure because he's using that
Well,
one.
I wrote
Well,
something in there, but that was back in
I don't use it
whatever
for
it
anything.
was.
I didn't think
I
you
don't
did.
use mine.
I'm going to use mine, so just move yours down, and I'll keep mine that way. And I may come over the weekend and shift all my stuff over to there, just to let you know. But
Well, I didn't clean out your valuables down here.
those were left. I'm not concerned about those.
It's not yours.
No, no, just the drawer. That's all I need. I don't know if you have anything in there.
Yeah, I've got what else I had.
That's a lazy one when we need to point to the screen. Some of them work and some of them don't. In fact,
Oh, yeah, that works.
might be a time to get those lines working.
I was just gonna-
Oh, that'd be fun.
Put someone's eye out.
Right, on live
Too
stream.
bad we don't have a cat here.
That- that-
I have a cat at home, I just tried to,
Yeah.
that works.
Yeah, okay. Is yours working?
I didn't know we had that.
Good deal. Yeah.
That was.
Learning something new every day. Okay. Okay, Clancy.
One thing, this is on the ACS side, the alternate care side, New Hope Church location. The subtenant is ending operations there, heat testing has been going on. We're gonna do a walkthrough tomorrow. And then the question is, health department's been assuming, well, it's time to get in that base lease with the county. I don't know if you want to hear from Julie on that, or you want to discuss that before you actually, that lease runs through June 10th. And I didn't know if you wanted to hang on to it. At the side, the church is open is agreeable to letting us continue. We would just probably need an extension of the lease for some period of time. I don't know if you want to do that as a
I would probably.
cautionary measure or
Which
not.
church are we talking?
It's where the free COVID testing site is off of Tuttle Creek
Oh,
Boulevard.
there.
I would probably go with whatever Julie's recommendation at this point in time is, if she's comfortable moving it back to the health department, that's fine. If she wants to keep that open, I mean, I don't know what a week or 10 days or whatever that difference in time is gonna be at this point in time.
No, I'm less concerned about that than just, I want to make sure I had some direction from you as to, because Julie, I know her opinion last I talked to her was, well, let's just go ahead and pull up stakes there.
Okay.
And go ahead and terminate.
That's.
But I want to make sure you're okay with that.
Yeah.
I want to, because the obvious advantage is then you don't have to scramble around for a site if you need one downrange. But the's costs associated with it.
Right.
Just the lease.
I would say then if that's her recommendation, we go ahead and pull up on that.
Consensus,
Yeah.
yes, as long as that's what she wants to do. Okay, I just want to make sure we were operating the way the board expected. So,
Okay.
Thank you.
What's the name of that site, Clancy? ACS?
ACS, alternate
That's what I
care.
thought.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it was originally supposed to be, but we never actually put it as a congregate site. We used it for testing.
Yeah.
Testing,
So-
yeah, there's still a little trailer over there.
Yeah, that's theirs.
That's.
Yeah, that's their setup site there when they want to get everybody through there and then they go inside to do the actual
Inside,
testing.
okay.
There's,
Might be in reverse.
well, just so you know, also, just on the other side, the respiratory side.
Yeah.
Over the area there on the platform. That's, yeah, she's also saying that the doctors have told her they don't really need that site, so we have to give them, that's termination requires like 90 days notice, so they're ready to do that unless you have an issue with getting rid of that as well.
No, we never actually used it for anything,
No,
so that
we
would be a
didn't.
good time to go ahead.
What is that?
That was going to be for a respiratory clinic. That's was that building C or building D in the complex there? It's an empty site at this
Oh,
point. in time.
it's.
Actually, I think it's building A, actually,
Oh, yeah.
I think.
A, B, C.
But one of those alphabet things.
Yeah.
So, but in any event, they're ready to get also to no longer use that, to terminate that agreement. But that will take, again, that's a 90-day term that you have to tell them. So it'll still be 90 days worth of lease payments.
Okay. Yeah, then that'd probably a good idea to do now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't even. Where that.
Yeah, that we came up with two. Well, we actually had
Wasn't
two
there a
alternate
hotel?
sites in that, and then we
Yeah.
configured it into that. And those were two open areas that we were able to find at that point in time that we could. I mean, obviously, you couldn't combine everything together at that
Yeah.
point in time. It logistically didn't make sense for where we were at. So we had two separate sites, and we went ahead because we had the funds to do that, to go ahead and keep those in case we needed them, so we didn't have to start all over. So
Oh, check out.
All right, just want to let you know.
that good explanation.
You may get, yeah.
Okay.
You may get contacted by some neighbors about it. Most of it's going on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good work. Okay, so with that, anything else from anybody? Okay, we can take a motion to adjourn.
We'll move to adjourn.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adjourn the May 27th, 2021